Once upon a time, there lived a poor woodcutter named Ravi. He worked hard every day, chopping wood in the forest to earn a living. Despite his hard work, he always struggled to make ends meet, but he was known throughout the village for being honest and kind. One day, while chopping wood near a river, Ravi's axe slipped from his hands and fell into the deep water. He was very upset because it was his only axe, and without it, he wouldn't be able to work or earn money. Ravi sat by the riverbank, holding his head in his hands. Suddenly, the river's water shimmered, and a kind fairy appeared. She asked him, "Why are you so sad, dear woodcutter?" Ravi explained, "My axe fell into the river, and I cannot afford a new one. Without it, I cannot cut wood or make a living." The fairy felt sorry for him and said, "Don't worry, I will help you." She dived into the river and came back with a shiny golden axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked, holding it out. Ravi looked at the beautiful golden axe and shook his head. "No, that is not my axe. Mine was made of simple iron." The fairy smiled and dived into the river again. This time she came back with a silver axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. Ravi looked at the silver axe and again shook his head. "No, that is not my axe either. Mine was a plain iron axe." The fairy was pleased with Ravi's honesty. She went back into the river one last time and brought out his old iron axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. Ravi's face lit up with happiness. "Yes, that's my axe. Thank you so much," he exclaimed. The fairy was so impressed with Ravi's honesty that she gave him not only his iron axe but also the golden and silver axes as a reward. "You have shown that honesty is the best policy. Always remain truthful, and good things will come to you," she said, before disappearing into the water. Ravi returned to his village grateful and happy. He shared his story with everyone, and from then on, the villagers remembered that honesty is the best way to live. Ravi used the golden and silver axes wisely to improve his life, but he always stayed true to his honest ways. Moral of the story: honesty is the best policy. Being truthful brings its own rewards. Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats who lived on a hillside. They were brothers and named Little Billy Goat Gruff, Middle Billy Goat Gruff, and Big Billy Goat Gruff. They loved munching on green grass but had eaten up all the grass on their side of the hill. They knew that across a bridge there was a beautiful green meadow with plenty of delicious grass to eat. However, the bridge was guarded by a big, mean, and hungry troll who lived underneath it. Every time someone tried to cross the bridge, the troll would come up and scare them away, saying he'd gobble them up. One day, the 3 goats decided they would cross the bridge to reach the meadow. They had a plan to outsmart the troll. Little Billy Goat. Gruff first, the smallest goat, Little Billy Goat Gruff, trotted up to the bridge. Trip, trap, trap. His tiny hooves went on the wooden boards. Suddenly, the troll leaped up from under the bridge and roared, "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" "It's only me, Little Billy Goat Gruff," said the smallest goat in a squeaky voice. "I'm going to gobble you up," yelled the troll. "Oh no, please don't eat me," said Little Billy Goat Gruff. "I'm too small. My brother is much bigger and tastier. Wait for him." The troll thought for a moment and decided to let Little Billy Goat Gruff pass. Middle Billy Goat Gruff. Then along came the second brother, Middle Billy Goat Gruff. Trip, trap, trap. His hooves went on the bridge. The troll jumped up again and roared, "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" "It's me, Middle Billy Goat Gruff," said the goat in a louder voice. "I'm going to gobble you up," growled the troll. "Oh, please don't eat me," said Middle Billy Goat Gruff. "I'm not very big. My older brother is much bigger and tastier. Wait for him." The troll thought this was a good idea and let Middle Billy Goat Gruff pass. Big Billy Goat Gruff. Finally, along came Big Billy Goat Gruff, the biggest brother. Trip, trap, trap. His heavy hooves stomped on the bridge. Once again the troll appeared and roared, "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" "It is I, Big Billy Goat Gruff," shouted the biggest goat in a strong voice. The troll licked his lips and said, "I'm going to gobble you up." But Big Billy Goat Gruff was not scared. He charged at the troll with his big, strong horns and knocked him right off the bridge. The troll tumbled into the river below and was never seen again. The 3 billy goats trotted across the bridge happily and reached the meadow. They spent the rest of the day eating delicious green grass and playing together. From that day on, they could cross the bridge any time they wanted without any trouble. And they lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, two friends were walking through a forest when they suddenly spotted a bear coming towards them. One friend, thinking quickly, ran away and climbed a nearby tree to save himself without even glancing back to see what happened to his friends. The other friends who couldn't climb trees was left behind, seeing no other option. He remembered hearing that bears don't attack the dead. So he lay down on the ground, held his breath, and pretended to be dead. The bear came closer, sniffing and inspecting him. The friend on the ground lay completely still, holding his breath. After a moment, the bear, believing him to be dead, left him alone and wandered away. Once the bear was gone, the friend who was up in the tree climbed down and asked, "What did the bear whisper in your ear?" The friend replied, "The bear told me a secret. Don't trust a friend who doesn't help him in times of danger." Hearing this, the friend felt ashamed and hung his head in silence. Moral of the story is, a true friend is someone who stands by you in times of need. Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived 4 friends: a mouse, a crow, a deer, and a tortoise. Despite being very different from each other, they were the best of friends. They spent their days playing, chatting, and helping each other whenever needed. One day, while the deer was grazing, he was spotted by a hunter. The hunter quickly set a trap to capture the deer. Unaware of the trap, the deer stepped into it and got caught. He struggled to free himself but couldn't escape. He began to worry, thinking he might never see his friends again. Back in their usual meeting spot, the other friends realized that the deer was missing. Feeling worried, the tortoise, mouse, and crow decided to search for him. The crow flew high above the trees and soon spotted the deer trapped in the net. He quickly returned to inform the others. The friends came up with a clever plan. The mouse would use his sharp teeth to cut through the net and free the deer, while the crow would keep an eye on the hunter to warn them if he returned. The tortoise, though slow, insisted on coming along to support his friend. The crow flew ahead to the deer and said, "Don't worry, we're here to help you." The mouse quickly began gnawing through the ropes, while the tortoise encouraged the deer to stay calm. Just as the mouse was finishing, they saw the hunter returning. The crow cawed loudly to alert his friends. The mouse chewed the last bit of rope, and the deer was free. He quickly ran into the bushes to hide, but the tortoise, being slow, couldn't escape in time, and the hunter noticed him. The hunter was disappointed to find his trap empty, but he decided to take the tortoise instead. He picked him up and began to walk away. The other friends were worried, but they came up with another plan. The deer ran ahead of the hunter and pretended to be injured, limping in front of him. The hunter, thinking he could catch the deer instead, put down the tortoise and ran after the deer. As soon as the hunter was far enough away, The mouse and crow rushed over to the tortoise and helped him get to safety. The deer, being quick, soon escaped from the hunter and returned to his friends. The four friends were safe and grateful for each other. They hugged, happy to be back together, and realized the power of teamwork and friendship. And from that day on, they promised to always look out for one another, no matter what. Once in a serene pond, there lived a little turtle named Timmy. Timmy was small and often felt overlooked by the other animals in the pond. Determined to prove himself, he decided to participate in the annual pond race. The competition was fierce, with speedy fish, agile frogs and graceful swans all vying for the title. Timmy, despite his slow pace, joined the race with enthusiasm. As the race began, he chugged along, giving his best effort. During the race, a sudden storm struck, causing waves and turbulence in the pond. Many of the faster animals struggled to swim against the strong currents. However, Timmy, with his sturdy shell and steady pace, navigated through the rough waters. To everyone's surprise, Timmy reached the finish line, winning the race. The other animals, humbled by the little turtle's determination, congratulated him. Timmy, catching his breath, smiled and said, "Sometimes being steady and persistent is more important than being the fastest." The moral of the story is that determination and perseverance can lead to success, no matter how slow or small one may seem.
Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos.
Hi kids! Welcome back to our channel Kids Storytime. Now we are going to watch Nuttys Adventure, The Power of Friendship.
Once upon a time, in a colorful forest, there lived a tiny, brave squirrel named Nutty. Nutty loved collecting acorns, but one day a big storm blew them all away. Determined, Nutty set off on an adventure to find his lost acorns. Along the way, he met a wise old owl, a playful rabbit, and a gentle deer, who all offered to help. Together they searched high and low, until they found Nutty's acorns hidden in a cozy cave. Nutty thanked his friends and shared his acorns with them. From that day on, Nutty knew that with friends, any problem could be solved. Thank you for watching Kids Storytime. Subscribe and like for more videos. See you soon in next videos. Bye-bye.
The lion, the king of the forest, was growing old. It had become difficult for him to hunt for food. So he called the fox and said, "I appoint you as minister. You must advise me on all the affairs of the forest, and also bring me an animal to eat every day." The fox went out to hunt for the lion's food. On the way, he met a donkey and said to him, "You are very lucky. Our king, the lion, has chosen you to be his chief minister. I am afraid of the lion. He might kill and eat me up, and I really don't think I am fit to be a minister," the donkey replied. The clever fox laughed and said, "Oh, you don't know the great qualities you have. Our king is dying to meet you. He has chosen you because you are hard-working and gentle. Now come with me and meet our great king. He will be really happy to see you." The donkey believed him and agreed to go along with the fox. As soon as they entered the cave, the lion pounced on the donkey and killed him. The lion thanked the fox and was happy to get his food. The lion, as sat down to eat his meal, the fox said, "Your Majesty, I know you are very hungry and it is time for your dinner, but the king of the jungle must take a bath before his meal." The lion thought it was a good idea and said, "You're right. I should go and bathe first. You keep an eye on my dinner." The fox sat down silently to guard the lion's meal. He was very hungry and thought, "I took all the trouble of getting the donkey here. It is I who deserve the best portion of the meal." Thus the fox cut open the donkey's head and ate up the brain. When the lion returned and looked at the donkey, he felt that something was missing. He found that the head of the ass had been cut open. He inquired from the fox, "Who came here? What happened to the donkey's head?" The fox pretended to be innocent. He said, "Your Majesty, You had given the poor donkey a powerful blow on the head when you killed him." The lion was satisfied with the answer and sat down to eat his meal. But suddenly he shouted, "What happened to the donkey's brain?" "I wanted to eat the brain first," the clever fox smilingly replied. "Your Majesty, donkeys do not have brains. If this one had any, he would not have come here to become your meal." Thus, the fox managed to fool not only the donkey, but also the lion with his cunning arguments. It is true that sometimes a cunning argument can outwit normal intelligence. Thank you for watching. Kids, subscribe and like for more videos.
Once upon a time, in a far-off village, there was a little girl named Red. She was known for her love of adventure and her bright red hooded cape. One day, her mother asked her to take a basket of goodies to her sick grandmother who lived on the other side of the forest. Red happily agreed and set off on her journey. She walked through the forest, enjoying the sights and sounds around her. As she walked, she came across a beautiful meadow filled with flowers of all colors. She stopped to pick some of her grandmother. At that, when she heard a voice calling out of her, "Hello there, little girl," the voice said. Red looked around but couldn't see anyone. "Down here, dear," the voice said again. Red looked down to see a tiny talking mushroom. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know mushrooms could talk." "Oh, we can," the mushroom said, "and we are very good listeners too. What brings you to this part of the forest?" "I'm on my way to my grandmother's house," Red replied, "to take her some food." "Well, you're in luck," said the mushroom. "I know a shortcut that will get you there in no time at all." Red was curious and decided to follow the mushroom's direction. She walked through the forest, following the twists and turns of the path. As she walked, she came across a babbling brook and a small bridge, but just as she was about to cross the bridge, she heard a growling sound. She turned around to see a big bad wolf standing behind her. "What do you have there, little girl?" the wolf asked. "Just some food for my grandmother," Red replied. "Well, I'm sure she won't mind if I take a little taste," the wolf said, taking a step closer. Red was scared, but she remembered the lesson her parents had taught her about stranger danger. She took a deep breath and spoke firmly. "No, you cannot have my basket," she said. The wolf growled, but before he could do anything, a loud bark echoed through the forest. It was Red's loyal dog who had been following her all along. The wolf was scared off by the dog's bark, and Red continued on her journey. Finally, she arrived at her grandmother's house. She gave her the basket of goodies and told her about her adventure in the forest. Her grandmother smiled and hugged her, grateful for her safe arrival. From the day on, Red became known as the brave little girl who outsmarted the big bad wolf. And every time she walked through the forest, she remembered to be cautious but also open to new adventures and unexpected friendships. Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos. Once upon a time, there was an apple tree in a farmer's orchard. The tree was known for bearing the juiciest and most delicious apples in the whole town. Every year, the farmer would harvest the apples and sell them in the market, earning a good profit. One day, the farmer thought to himself, "This tree is getting old. Its branches are weak and it's not producing as many apples as it used to. I think it's time to cut it down and plant a new one. Hearing the farmer's plan, the apple tree was sad and worried. It didn't want to be cut down and disappear forever. So, it decided to speak up and share its feeling with the farmer. "Please don't cut me down, farmer," the apple tree said. "I may not be producing as many apples as before, but I can still give you something valuable." The farmer was surprised to hear the tree talk, but he listened patiently. "What can you give me?" he asked. The tree replied, "You can use my wood to build a new house, and my branches can be used as firewood. My roots can keep the soil in place, preventing erosion. Even after I'm gone, I can still be useful." The farmer was touched by the apple tree's words and realized that the tree still had value. He decided to spare the tree and let it live out its natural life. The moral of the story: just like the apple tree, every living thing has value and purpose. Even if it may not be immediately obvious, we should appreciate and respect all living things and recognize their contribution to our life. Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who decided to leave their mother and build their own homes. The first pig built his house out of straw. The second pig built his house out of sticks. And the third pig built his house out of brick. One day, a big wolf came along and saw the 3 little pigs in their house. He decided he wanted to eat them for dinner. So he went to the house made of straw and huffed and puffed, and the house came tumbling down. The little pig who lived there ran to his brother's house made of sticks. The wolf went to the stick house next, and he huffed and puffed again. The house came tumbling down, and the 2 little pigs ran to their brother's house made of bricks. The wolf huffed and puffed with all his might, but he couldn't blow down the brick house. So the wolf climbed onto the roof and tried to find a way in. But the clever pigs had built a fire in the fireplace, and the wolf couldn't stand the heat. He finally gave up and went away, never to be seen again. The 3 little pigs lived happily ever after in their brick house, knowing that a strong and steady home can protect them from danger. The moral of the story is that hard work and careful planning pay off in the end. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more videos, kids. In a lush and enchanting forest, a wise old tortoise and a chatty little bird lived as neighbors. The tortoise was known for its wisdom, and the bird loved to hear its stories. One day, the bird asked the tortoise, "Why do you walk so slowly? I can fly swiftly and reach faraway places." The tortoise smiled and replied, "My dear friend, speed is not always everything. Slow and steady progress helps me notice the beauty around and avoid dangers." The bird was curious and proposed a challenge. "Let's have a race. If I win, you will have to tell me the greatest story, and if you win, I promise to listen to your advice." The tortoise agreed, and the race was set. On the race day, the bird took off like lightning, leaving the tortoise behind. It flew high and felt invisible. As it soared through the skies, the bird saw a hunter with a net below. Panicked, it tried to slow down, but its wings got entangled in the net and it was trapped. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept moving steadily along the way. It met a group of animals in distress and helped them reach safety. With kindness and patience, the tortoise finally won the race. The bird, grateful to be free, apologized to the tortoise for his arrogance. From that day on, they become even better friends, learning from each other's strengths. Moral of this story is that tortoise and the bird teaches kids the value of wisdom, patience, and humility. It reminds us that rushing blindly can lead to trouble, while being steady and thoughtful bring rewards and help others too. Thank you for watching kids. Subscribe and like for more videos.
In a forest, there lived an old jackal who could no longer hunt like before. He was followed by a pack of dogs who always chased him. One day, while running to save his life, the jackal stumbled upon a street of clothes dyers and saw a big pot. Without thinking, he jumped into the pot to save himself, but he didn't realize that the pot was filled with blue color solution to dye clothes. When he came out of the pot, he saw that his entire body had turned blue. Any animal that saw him would be frightened and run away from him. Taking advantage of this situation, the jackal declared himself as the ruler of the animal world. The lions, tigers, and cheetahs were surprised and afraid to confront him, so they let him rule over them. For a few days, his kingdom went smoothly, and he enjoyed his newfound power. However, one day while resting in his cave, he heard the sound of other jackals outside. Without thinking, he also started whining like a jackal in his original voice. The lion and tiger realized that the jackal had tricked them, and they killed him for his deceitful actions. Thank you for watching kids. Subscribe and like for more videos.
Once upon a time, there was an old woman who lived in a small village. One day, she decided to bake some gingerbread cookies. She mixed the dough, rolled it out, and cut it into the shape of a little man. She then popped it in the oven to bake. Wow, I'm alive. Thank you for making me, old woman. Oh my goodness, you're talking? How did this happen? I don't know, but I'm so excited to explore the world. Be careful, Gingerbread Man. The world can be dangerous. Don't worry, I will be fine. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Gingerbread Man. What's that noise? Is someone shouting? Look over there. It's a talking gingerbread man. Hi everyone, I'm the Gingerbread Man. I'm on the run. Hey Gingerbread Man, where are you going? I am going as far as I can go. You can't catch me. I will catch you, Gingerbread Man. Ha ha ha, you're too slow. Run, run as fast as you can. As the Gingerbread Man ran through the village, he encountered a variety of animals, all of whom tried to catch him, but he was too fast from them. The villagers watched in amazement as the little cookie outwitted them all. Finally, the Gingerbread Man came to a river that he couldn't cross on his own. A sly old fox appeared and offered to him to cross. Thank you, Fox, you're so kind. This Gingerbread Man looks delicious. I'm going to heat him up. Wow, you're so fast, Fox. We are almost there. But as they reached the other side, the fox suddenly flipped the gingerbread man into his mouth and ate him up. Sorry, gingerbread man, I'm hungry. The moral of this story is that we should always be careful of who we trust and not to be too overconfident. Even though the gingerbread man was excited to explore the world, he didn't think about the danger that might come on his way. Thank you for watching, kids. Subscribe and like for more videos.